Notice how my computer is not on right now. I am going to walk you through how I tracked a band to my 2-inch tape machine. We cut the basics, drums, bass, and guitar to tape. From there, we transferred it via my Burrow mothership into Pro Tools. We're at the point now where we have some more overdubs to do. Then we're going to start mixing the project, which I'm super excited for. But in this video, I'm going to show you how I tracked a band, the basics to tape. And you guys know from my other videos, if a band is using their own drum kit, I want them to stop by a couple days to a week ahead of time so we can get it all set up, all mic'd up, so the days they do come to track, we're not wasting any time. We're just focusing on getting the best takes. This band is local from Chicago. Their name is the Grand Slack. The drummer stopped by a few days ahead of time and brought this really cool gold sparkle Gretsch Catalina kit. And I was surprised because the kick drum was 18 by 14 inches. No hole in the front head, which I consider small. Then it had a 14 by 14 inch floor tom and I believe an 8 by 8 rack tom. When I seen this little kit, I was excited. I couldn't wait to mic it up and hear how it sounded. We're going to go through how I did that right now. So first of all, let's go look at his kit. Now, they're not here yet. They're going to be here tomorrow, but let's just go over. I always like to have drummers, if they're using their own set, to bring it a couple days ahead of time, set it up so I could mic it up and get some sounds. And that's what we did. And we did it pretty fast, but I've been micing kits for a long time and I know what I like. So we'll go over it. Now, this is a Gold Sparkle Catalina kit, a Gretsch. It has a very small but cool 18-inch kick drum, and I have that mic'd with a FET 47, a Neumann FET 47, that's an original one, and then a Solomon sub kick. Now, there is, if you've seen my other videos, you know I like to put one inside for the attack and then one outside for the puff. Obviously, there's no hole in this kick drum head, so that's okay. I can deal with that. I just put two mics. Instead of using my Yamaha MZ204 inside, I just put a FET 47 on the outside. And honestly, I don't even need the sub kick. This mic alone sounds absolutely gorgeous on this kick drum, okay? And don't let the size fool you. It sounds great and it has size to it, all right? So that's the kick drum. The snare belongs to the kit. And it's just mic'd with an SM57 on the top and an SM57 on the bottom. The toms are 421 U5s. I did add my snare weights to them. That's these leather things that have magnets if you want only some of it or all of it. I did add these snare weights just to control them a little bit. I'm not sure what size these toms are. It looks like maybe a 14. That's a 14 and a 12, it looks like. And then we got a 14-inch snare. Very good cymbals here. Look at these cymbals, guys, okay? Custom Ks. Custom K Dark Crash, which is 17 inches. That's a thin crash. Perfect for studio recording. Here's an 18-inch Dark Crash Custom K. And then this ride here is very interesting. I'm not even going to try and say it, but there's the name of it. And there's the brand, all right? So, on the toms, I got Sennheiser MD421s, hi-hats, Neumann KM84. Stereo overheads is my Mojave MA300s. These are equal distance to the snare. And then for my room mics, I'm keeping it very simple. I have an R88. This is a dual ribbon mic, so it is picking up ribbon shooting that way and a ribbon shooting that way. Stereo recording. And then for a mono room mic, I have an old vintage Sennheiser 441. And I'm telling you, man, this is one of the best dynamic mics I've ever heard on anything you put it on. Amazing microphone. I love it on drums, especially drum room. This is a close drum room mic. A lot of times I'll put it facing a wall, getting more spank or whatever. But yeah, this is the way I'm doing it today. All of these are going through a wall plate back there. And you see I'm already starting to set up headphones. Here's my headphone amp. I already have the drummer headphones right here, the bass player right here, and then I'm going to add the two guitar players. And this is a Furman 6-channel headphone amp. Those are the power supplies for my Mojaves. These are 2 microphones I have on the drums here. All these microphones are going through into my control room. All right. And let's go through the preamps. And if you've seen my other videos, you know how I do it. All my drums are through these vintage API 312s. These are from Wally Harder Recording Studio 4 console. Lots of major classic records were recorded on these pre's. And some more modern records, or not modern, but mid-90s rock records that are gigantica. This is the FET 47. This is the Solomon sub mic. 2 SM57s on the snare. The 421s on toms. Overhead left, overhead right. The hi-hat KM84. The mono room mic, which is the 441. And then this first pair of Neve 1272s, that is the stereo ribbon mic. And then for the bass guitar, I'm taking a DI and then I'm miking his amp, which is the rig in the other room. And then for the guitars, I'll be using Telefunken V72s with the Royer 121 and an SM57 and all sorts of stuff. I'll show that later. And check out this cool bass he brought. This is his bass right here. It is an old Guild from the 70s. It's got a snark tuner on it. Let me take that off. It's an old Guild from the 70s. Look at that bass, man. This thing looks cool. There it is. 1977, I believe this bass is. Very cool. Now, we will move on. So these pre's are coming up, and they're going into my tape machine. I am monitoring on my console. So I have the kick, sub-kick, snare, toms, all that. I am monitoring on my console. So the band is getting a headphone mix off my console into that headphone amp that I showed you in the other room. So for the guitars, we have 2 Fender combo amps. And for the first guitar player, we have an SM57 and a Royer R21, phase correct. Second guitar player, we have a Beyer M160 and Beyer M201. So a dynamic and a ribbon on both. And we'll come through here. The first guitar player, SM57 and Royer R21, are going to Telefunken V72s. And the second guitar player, the M201 and M160, are going through Langevin AM16s. So now we're going to give a listen to the raw track. Some of the guitars are scratched. There's an intro that I'm skipping. I'll play it together and then I'll go back and we'll hear just the drums.